average score of 6 or 7 for IELTS, get a scholarship for this course, which is like a fully funded scholarship. And actually like work full time because I'm not a scholarship student. I earn around somewhere between 40 to 50,000 a month. Firstly, there is no campus placement with this course. So they have like the career section, career groups, and then you can apply for those, and in that they keep sending you updates. Lastly, of course, like just go to LinkedIn or these places and apply. You definitely get like a 1 year extended work visa. The best part with the European visa is you can always travel to other Schengen countries. Start planning, I think 6 months before you want to go somewhere. It's like always look for scholarships, and not just the scholarships from the college. You always get like different scholarships from the countries as well.
Hey guys, welcome to College Dunia Study Abroad. This is Varun, and today we have Jaina Shah. Jaina is pursuing her Masters in Tourism and Development from University of Glasgow. Hi Jaina.
Hi.
So Jaina, can you introduce yourself and talk about a little bit about your background for our viewers?
Yeah, sure. So, like, of course, you told my name. So it's Jaina, and I'm from Chhattisgarh in India. And so I had my graduation in sociology, and I did a part in journalism. But I was really interested in tourism and things related to it, so I opted for this course, which is Master of Science in Tourism Development and Culture. And yeah, so it's like an Erasmus joint master's degree. So this is what I'm doing right now.
Okay, so why did you choose University of Glasgow?
So University of Glasgow particularly, and not even the university, particularly this course, because it is super interesting. So we get a chance not only to study in University of Glasgow, which is the main university, but we also get to study in 3 different universities, which is the University of Malta, University of Sweden, which is the Lund University, and one in Lisbon, which is Ishte Business School. So yeah, so we have different semesters in different universities, and our main university is University of Glasgow.
So based on that tourism and culture, like this university curriculum is also similar to that. You're gonna travel to different countries, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's nice. So, which other universities have you applied for in your particular course?
So besides the University of Glasgow, I applied for Manchester University. I applied for Sheffield Hallam University. Then I applied for multiple other universities in the UK. So majorly my focus was based on UK. So yeah, so these were some of the universities which I applied for.
And how many admits have you got?
Actually got admission in all of them, but for University of Glasgow particularly, like this course interested me way more than others, because others were like just in the same place, but in this one I got to travel more, and since it's a tourism course, so it's always better to travel to different countries and cities. So yeah.
So have you worked before and then pursued your masters, or you have completed your undergrad and then like you directly joined, right?
So I did my undergrad, but as I told, like I had a background of sociology and journalism. So I was working as a journalist, entertainment journalist. But like I really wanted to do something in travel. So I just dropped out of wherever I was working, and then I started with my masters. And yeah, so now I'm in tourism.
That's nice. So how did you like apply for these universities? Like any SOP, LRs and all? Like what's the process that you followed for this particular kind of course?
Yeah. So firstly, definitely the SOP, because you always need that. And so that is like a personal statement. So I had to write that for each of the university, actually, not just University of Glasgow. And then the letter of recommendations. So criteria for this one was, if I'm working, I had to get 2 professional LORs and 1 from the graduation university, so wherever I graduated from. So yeah, and then IELTS or TOEFL, like whichever exam you give, and there is like an average score of 6 or 7 for IELTS. I gave that. I didn't give TOEFL, so I don't know much about it, but for IELTS, the average score for each university was around 6 or 7, which should be there.
What was your score? What was your score?
7.5. It was not that good, but not that bad. So I just...
I think it is good.
I don't
anything
know.
above anything above 7 or 7.5 is that's a good score, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Good enough to get admission for sure.
Yeah. So, like, can you talk a bit about your course structure? Like, so you mentioned that it has a kind of a unique course structure, and
Yeah.
can you talk a bit more about it? Like, how many years of course, and like how it is distributed over different universities?
Okay, so it is like a 2-year course, and so 2 years means 4 semesters. And so the first semester is in University of Glasgow, which is the main
Mm-hmm.
university because that is where you get introduced to everything related to the course. Then the second semester is done at the University of Malta,
Mm-hmm.
and there again it's like the second semester, so you are just growing through the course. And the third semester and fourth semester you get an option between the Lund University, which is in Sweden, and Ishte Business School, which is in Lisbon. So you can choose either of the two universities. So I personally like the course structure which is in Lisbon because I thought it's more practical. So I chose that one, and my third and fourth semester are there. So basically, the
Okay.
fourth semester is the thesis. So you work on the dissertation and the thesis, your
Mm-hmm.
master thesis. So that is the fourth
Mm-hmm.
semester. And yeah, and then you're done once you're passed with the thesis and everything.
Okay, that's interesting. So, like, how did you manage, like, traveling to different universities, and how did you manage your living and all? Like, is the university providing you with some, like, any funding or something, or like, you need to fund yourself, or you need to find a job, or how does that work? Because you keep changing every semester,
Yeah.
right?
So the best part of this course, unfortunately, I applied quite late. But you get a scholarship for this course, which is like a fully funded scholarship. So it's like you get the compensation for all your travel expenses to different
Mm-hmm.
universities, and you
Okay.
also get like 1,000 euros per month to
Mm-hmm.
like survive in the city wherever you are. So it's
Oh.
like a fully funded scholarship. But unfortunately, I didn't apply for that because I was a bit late.
Ah.
So yeah, so usually the timeline is the application starts around November end, and it ends around mid-Jan. So
Mm-hmm.
in that period, if you apply, you're eligible for the scholarship. And then, of course, there's a letter or something you need to explain why you need the scholarship or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's pretty
That's
good. Like
interesting.
this course is like quite good for anyone pursuing this kind of a course.
So at the right time, if you apply for all the right
Yeah,
things, make your
exactly.
due research, do your due research and all, I think it
Yeah.
is that's nice. So right now, then, how are you managing? Like, are you like paying out of your pocket, or are you working somewhere? Or how is that going?
So it's like a personal, my father is sponsoring me right now. And besides that, for like I keep doing part-time jobs or something like that. So yeah, so I keep searching for work, like I do online work from home, and it is related to travel only. So that's the good part.
Ah,
Like I don't have to change the field or like work in a cafe,
yeah,
which I would like to do. But fortunately, I got something in travel industry itself. So that's
yeah,
like a
that
good
gives
part.
you more experience, so it's good.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I'm learning and through work and through the course all together.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, so I can manage a bit of my expenses on my own, and some my father is paying. So, yeah, it's like that.
So you mentioned you're working, right? So are you working like in UK itself, or like whatever online work you're doing? Is it
Mhm.
like based on UK, or like something again based on India, and that's what you're using?
So yeah, so I've been working two jobs throughout this course. One was
Mhm.
from the US. Sorry. So one was from the US, and the other one, which currently I'm working on, is from India. So it's like a company based in India, and I'm working through that. And yeah, so
Okay,
it's like you can work from wherever you want. Like, uh, personally, I
that's
didn't want
nice.
to work much with UK, I liked Europe more. So because I could live in both the places, so I liked Europe
Yeah,
better. So I want
yeah.
to work more here, and
Okay.
yeah, so
Well,
yeah,
maybe you'll find more opportunities. So yeah, I think
hopefully,
you have
yeah,
to. Yeah,
I'm looking for them.
travel industry is pretty big. Yeah, you can work, I think, in almost any country. Just that you need to find the right one.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
So, how is the fee structure of your course? So, is the
Uh,
scholarship funding your fee as well? it would help like if you shed some light on that as well. Like, can you explain the fee structure and then let us know like if the university, gives scholarships and all, or how it.
Sure. So with these scholarship students, so as I told you, it's fully funded scholarship. So the students who get the scholarship, they don't have to pay the fee. Like the fee is zero for them, and along with that, they get 1,000 euros per month for their living expenses. So it's
Yeah,
basically you're learning for free, and yeah, you're just learning for free. It's just that.
it's
And
just your time that you need to spend that
yeah,
you
you just need to invest your time and you need to be there. So with scholarship, you really have to be there. For self-funded students, like it was COVID season and everything. So we had an exception of staying back home and doing online, like doing the course online. Uh, and besides, if you're not a scholarship student, then the fee structure is somewhere around 13,000 pounds, somewhere around 13,000 pounds per year,
Okay.
which makes
So
it
2 years, 26,000.
yeah, so 2 years, 26,000 pounds. So if you convert it into Indian rupees, it's like 25 lakhs or something uh, for like 2 years.
Okay.
So that is the course fee. And
Okay.
so you can pay, so how you pay it? So you can pay through multiple ways, of course. And you can pay in installments, in like 6 installments, 8
Okay.
installments, or you can pay all together. So
Okay.
that is how the fee structuring works.
Nice, that's nice. So can I know like how much are you earning through the part times like this?
Through the part time, it actually depends. So I have had quite a few experiences in the past. So because of that, like what an average Indian internship gives you, I earn way more than that. And like, so I can actually like work full time because I'm not a scholarship student. So I can actually work full time and manage my course if I can. So since, as I told you, it's a work from home thing, so it's quite flexible for me. So it's like you can say I earn around somewhere between 40 to 50,000 a month. Because I
No,
work
can you in euros? Can you mention it in euros?
in euros,
Like once
it's like
over the month, yeah. By the end of the month,
by
what would
the
you
end of
be
the
your salary?
month, it's like, yeah, so it's somewhere between 400 to 500 euros, you
Okay,
can say.
that's
Somewhere
good
between,
amount,
like,
I
yeah,
guess.
not exactly 500, but less than that. But
Yeah,
yeah, than
a
400.
ballpark
So
number we can catch 500, I guess. How are you managing your living? Like, you keep changing from place to place, as you mentioned. So,
yeah.
accommodation and like, can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, sure.
Your
So
living.
yeah. So with the college, so every time we move to a different place, they give us a list of websites and places from where we can search for the accommodations. We also have university accommodations, but usually people prefer staying not in the university because sometimes it's a bit expensive compared
Yeah.
to the individual places. So yeah, that's that. And then you can go through those websites. Sometimes they're quite helpful. Some of the people in my course actually found good places through that. And so it depends on country to country. So if you want to find it in the UK, in Scotland, there are different websites. If you want to find in Lisbon, there are different websites. So it's of course country to
Okay.
country changes. And secondly, Facebook groups help. So they are quite helpful. So if you go to, for example, I want to find a house in Malta. So there's like a housing in Malta kind of a group in Facebook. And you get to know because you connect through similar kind of people on Facebook who are in the similar course or who have
Yeah.
been in the similar course. So it's easier to find like genuine groups. And since it is an Erasmus course, so you also have like an Erasmus students network.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
through that also you tend to find these kind of accommodations. So yeah, it gets pretty hectic. At the same time, it gets easier because you have so many
Yeah.
sources. So eventually
But
find something.
you'll have a good experience, I think. And also like, I know, I think you have worked for ISEC as well. So you have
Yeah.
a decent amount of, first-hand experience as well with how to, connect with international students and international places. Yeah, that's really nice. So like, how much do one spend on an average, for monthly expenses, like including your rent, bills, like food, going out and all, like a ballpark number?
Monthly.
I know place to place it changes, but I so I can't ask you for each place. So an average number.
It's like somewhere between, I think, 800 to 1,000 euros, which is what exactly the Erasmus pays the scholarship students. And so if you go to the UK, it's somewhere on the higher end. Even in Malta, because it's an island country, so the pays are towards the higher end. But if you stay in Lisbon, it's towards the lower end. So if you have like 800 to like somewhere around 700 to 800 euros, I think that's more than enough for countries like Lisbon. But
That's
I
nice.
think the other 3 countries are quite expensive, which is Scotland or Malta or Sweden, if somebody goes there. So these places are quite expensive.
So what would be the higher number, like?
I think 1,000 to 1,200. Like,
okay,
so
that's
like
nice.
an average, because that is what, and I think that's why the college pays that. Yeah. But
that's what I was thinking. Like, university really is supporting. I mean, like, if you think about it, you're barely spending anything from your pocket if you actually land up with that scholarship that you mentioned. That's nice. Yeah. So, what is the future perspective of your course? I know, like, majority of them wouldn't be familiar so much about these specific focused individual courses, but I personally have no idea. So even I will learn today. So can you tell us, like, how's the future perspective of your course, like when someone graduates from your course?
Firstly, there is no campus placement with this course. So that is like the drawback, if you would say, of this particular course. So you get money to travel, but after that,
but does the university help you? Like, does the university help you out in at least trying to search for a job or something?
Not really, but they have their like career segments like every other university. So they have like their career section, career groups, and then you can apply for those. And in that they keep sending you updates related to the career things, and they will keep sending you job openings or like internship opportunities or something like that. So if you want something related to that, you can definitely apply and like see how it goes. But of course, they don't help you applying. Like, you just get the information and you need to apply on your own. Besides that, like, I think individually you can apply, because a lot of the professors in like throughout the course are the guest lecturers. So they actually work in the profession in which they're teaching. So for example, if I'm learning about shopping and luxury tourism, so that particular professor would know about what luxury is or what shopping and luxury is, and then they have worked in that particular sector. So so this is how like you can connect with your professors and ask them for help or something. This is the second thing. And lastly, of course, like just go to LinkedIn or these places and apply, and just look out for different companies and apply like whichever role you want. So there are multiple job roles you can take. You can do marketing, destination marketing, then you can work with the sales and business development of a certain company. Then you can do travel consultancy, then you can help with the research and development, which is what we studied in our first semester, which is doing research and development regarding tourism. Then and also if you want to apply for like a government thing, you can just give the government exams and apply, because you've had that knowledge. So you'll definitely have an edge over other people who want to apply for a tourism based course in India or like anywhere in the world. So so
that's nice. So I think from your, like, whatever you mentioned, I understand that like faculty plays a really important role as well in your course. So do you want to mention some faculty or give a shout out to any of the faculty?
I think a lot of them, because so starting with Glasgow, so we've had like multiple faculty throughout the course. So like some of them I don't even remember the name now because it's been like 2 years. But in Dumfries, which is in Scotland, so where we were studying, so there was like Don, who was our like main HOD, and he was quite good with handling everything. So he's the main person handling the whole course. So he's quite knowledgeable about like.
So easy to reach out to for anyone?
I think all of them are actually, because most of them are available on LinkedIn. And so in Malta, when we were studying, so one of our professors, he helps the United Nations deciding which place can be termed as the UNESCO heritage site. So he plays a
Oh,
huge role in that. Then one of them in Malta was the member of parliament. So we were studying from like random people,
okay.
and
There is a
like such
huge
huge
different
personalities.
fee. Yeah.
Yeah. And then here in Lisbon, I think all of them are super good. Like actually, out of all the universities, like Lisbon has been the best university because firstly it was practical, secondly all the professors were like super good and like they're very helpful. So
Mhm.
yeah, like if I would take name, I would take all of their name. It's like
Got it.
all of them are good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, so coming to the visa situation, so your course is not more technical or engineering, right? Is it something different? Does it have some different kind of visa criteria, or like, can you talk a bit more about the visa after you graduate and like?
Okay, so with visa, of course, like for the UK, the moment we apply, because University of Glasgow is the main university, and we have like a 2-year course written over there. So we get a 2-year visa, which is like the visa is basically the British residence permit. So we get
Mhm.
that. And based on that, you can actually get like an extended work visa for like 1 year or 2 years. I think the rules have changed. I haven't really thought of it because I
Uh-huh.
don't want to apply for the UK. But yeah, you definitely get like a 1 year extended work visa based on that. So
Yeah.
that is a good part. And for the other
Okay.
countries, you apply for like a 1 year visa. Like even for Malta, we had to apply for like a one year visa. And for Lisbon also, it
Oh
was
my
like
God.
very practical. Because for Portugal, I think Portugal is one of the most strictest has strictest visa policies. Even for like if you go to travel, people usually apply for Spain or Italy and not Portugal because Portuguese visa is like really difficult to apply for. And yeah, so I had like a lot of difficulties with that. But basically, it's just the documents. So if you have all your documents in place and everything verified and checked, like your college degree and everything,
Yeah.
then it's super easy. But like, of course, it's
So
sometimes
in 2 years,
difficult in India.
yeah. So in 2 years, you
Yeah.
applied for like 3 different countries visa, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, so let's say, how many visas do you have on your passport, which are
On
valid
my
for at least 1 year or more?
which is valid right now. I think only the Portuguese one because for the UK one, as I told you, like I had to defer, like I told you off
Yeah.
camera, but I had
Yeah.
to defer for the Portuguese visa because I couldn't get it in the first time.
Yes.
Otherwise, like my UK visa would have been valid, and then of course the Portuguese one. The best part with
Mhm.
the European visa is you can always travel to other Schengen countries.
So
So
it's a Schengen visa that you need to apply separate, I guess, right?
it's not actually the Schengen visa, but if you apply even for a long-term visa, which is what I applied for, I didn't apply for Schengen visa, which is like a tourist visa. I
Yeah.
applied for a long-term stay visa based
Okay.
on the course, and even with that, I can travel across Europe, like to all the Schengen countries. So like
Okay.
that thing is like, quite flexible in Europe in general. So that is quite
Okay.
good. Yeah.
So is it like a Dropbox or like you always come back to India to apply these visas? Because I know if every semester you have been to a different place,
Yeah.
so and each and every place needed the visa. Like for the Europe, it was a single visa, and you were able to study in all the other countries with that one single visa.
No. So for the visa, so actually, since we had the British residence permit, we could actually apply from the UK itself after our first semester. So if we
Okay.
wanted to go to Malta, we could apply from UK itself, and
Hmm.
the same goes with Lisbon. So we just had to come back to the UK. We didn't need to fly back to India
Okay. India.
altogether. So of course, it's our choice if we want to apply from India. But of course, like a lot of my colleagues chose to apply from the UK itself, and sometimes it's faster as well because
Hmm.
since you aren't in India, so you don't need that many documents.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
they just do with whatever document you have there itself.
Got it.
So
It's like
yeah,
continuation of your UK visa, I guess. They already
yeah,
verified a lot of your documents, so they don't need much.
exactly.
But yeah, you have a really unique experience. It's like travel and learn experience, and
Yeah,
I think based on your course background, you're really justifying it by actually traveling to different
traveling.
countries
Yeah,
and like you're learning new things in terms of tourism. That's nice. So like, can you like share any one of your good experiences and a bad experience throughout your this study abroad? If you've been to many countries, so I assume you have really so many of them, but something that you would really remember.
I think mostly I've had like the best experiences, and the best part is you get to meet so many people from so many different ethnicities, from different countries and cultures. So for this particular course, we have like 25 students every year. They take in around 25 students every year, and like almost everyone is from a different country. So
I expected that. When you said
yeah,
tourism, I
so
expected
it's
this. Diversity is max.
yeah, so rarely we have like people from the same country, like two people from the same country or three people. Usually the Europeans you have more, like you'll have more people from Italy or more from these kind of places. But generally it's like everyone from everywhere. And with me,
Okay.
luckily, I could study with two cohorts, so with two batches. And
Yeah.
for me, it's like just meeting like around 30 new people, 30 or like different people from different countries. So that's, I
Yeah.
think, the best part of it. And of course, like it's an Erasmus course, so you can always connect with more people from different countries with
Uh-huh.
Erasmus networking.
And it's a
Yeah,
really good size. I think 30 is a really good number. So
yeah,
you can actually interact with almost everyone and everyone knows you as well.
exactly. Yeah.
That's nice. How would you react, or like how was your experience when you found someone from your same country? Like,
Actually, in the second cohort, there's no one from India, but in the first one, I had one girl, and actually, I bonded well because, like, of course, you find someone from your home, and you know, okay, this person is at least I can speak my own language, so it's always better. So yeah, we used to live together actually in the UK, and so it
okay,
really helps. So it helps you with cooking food because you don't like to cook food on your own. So it's
yeah,
something like that. Like you just
some
have
help.
someone with you. Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, so that was a
Okay.
good experience actually, and like I'm always very proud of India, so I love having Indians as much as I can. So
That's nice.
yeah.
So let's talk about bad experience. What is that bad experience you will remember like forever that happened during your study abroad?
Uh, I think the only bad experience I had was because I went during COVID, so like things were a bit little too much here and there, like everything wasn't sure, we weren't sure like okay we have to stay here or we need to go back home. And when I was in Scotland especially, like things were a bit like closed and people
Okay.
weren't there all around, so I think that was one of the bad experiences. But otherwise studying abroad, I think it's like even the bad experiences are good. I feel it's like you always learn from everything you experience, so it's always good for me.
Yeah. Actually, COVID has actually hit everyone
Yeah.
really hard. That's true.
Yeah,
Well, right now you're happy, you're in Lisbon, you're enjoying your course, so that's good.
definitely. Yeah.
So, any advices for the students who are like planning to pursue masters from your university or from your course itself?
I think the only advice is just apply in time. Like always start planning, I think 6 months before you want to go somewhere, and then like in general, not for just this university, because I was applying to multiple universities. Usually the deadlines are around December and January. So even if you want to like not get the scholarship or anything, it's always better to apply earlier. And you never know, because the scholarships you always get a chance to get them, and they're always there before the month of Jan or December, so you always have like a very good chance to get these scholarships, and they definitely help. Like for this course, if I had the scholarship, I know I would have enjoyed way more than I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
And like with free mind, with no work,
exactly. No
of course working less.
liabilities.
Yeah, but without any liabilities, exactly. So yeah, so it's like always look for scholarships, and not just the scholarships from the college. You always get like different scholarships from the countries as well. So if you go to the UK, there are multiple sites. If you go to anywhere in Europe, you get these scholarships from the country itself. Sometimes you get it from India also. So I cannot list down the exact websites, but there are multiple of them. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I think
well,
just look
that's
out for
nice.
scholarships and apply in time. Like that is the best advice I could give.
Yeah, that's a really nice advice. So, guys, like, do your research and make sure that you check out every single window possible.
Yeah.
That's nice. Well, that was it from my side, and it was really nice talking to you.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
And thank you so much for sharing your experience. You had a really good study abroad experience, I guess, like 3 different countries and all.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
Thank you so much.